didn't know Cassie, but I knew somebody who was going through the same thing she was going through, and that was Kim.
So it looks like the case of Kim Porter's death might actually get reopened and investigated again, because we've got a few pages of her telebook that just leaked online, and the details are much worse than we could have ever imagined. It turns out all the rumors about Diddy putting his hands on her and leaving her severely wounded on multiple occasions were all true. When news of Kim having a telebook came out, it was accompanied by an email between somebody from the publishing company that she was working with, in which they accused Diddy of using his power to stop the publication of the book. A lot of people immediately started side-eyeing Diddy for this, because he wouldn't have gone that far to stop the book from coming out if it didn't incriminate him, and it looks like we was all right, because the details of Kim's book are honestly extremely traumatic, and it would have 100% destroyed Diddy if he had taken her out before she could have released it. Now, when it comes to Diddy putting his hands on Kim, the allegations are not new. A lot of people have accused him of this, including his ex-bodyguard Gene Deal, as one of Kim's best friends, Sahara Lottie, who even went as far as to accusing Diddy of owning Kim and using her as an Illuminati sacrifice. Yeah. Y'all heard that right? That's how far deep this whole mess go. Gene Deal said he once saw Kim and Diddy get into a very nasty physical altercation, which led to Kim slitting Diddy's wrists. Apparently, the fight started after Diddy tried to put his hands on her because he suspected that she was cheating on him with another man.
Right hand is in a bandage. That's the night I was called by Paul to meet him over at St. Luke's Hospital. He had a white t-shirt wrapped around his wrist, because Kim had took the cork, you know where you open up wine? The corkscrew. She took the corkscrew and caught him on his wrist defending himself. And he almost, I know he tore some ligament, but he almost hit an artery or came close to the artery, or either scratched it or cut it a little bit, because he just kept bleeding. And from that point on, he was hooked. That's when I knew when they was talking about people getting addicted and hooked on pain medicines. That's what happened to him, and it was from his right wrist that he's reminded by Kim all the time now. That's Kim's book. Then you hear about the fact that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht. He broke him, let's say allegedly, but it was told by people in her camp that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht.
But this ain't the first nor only time that Diddy attacked Kim over her apparently cheating on him. There were also reports about him breaking Kim's nose after he caught her messing around with another guy, and then flying in a plastic surgeon to fix it in secret so that the blogs wouldn't catch on, and reported, a source told media, take out by 2:00 a.m. They were arguing loudly. This went on for several hours. Then at 7:00 a.m., there was screaming. Diddy flew in a specialist plastic surgeon from Geneva after the accident. BS claimed that she hurt her face after she banged her nose on a table.
About the fact that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht. He broke Kim, let's say allegedly, but it was told by people in her camp that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht. So Cassie's story is Kim.
The physical attacks kept going all the way until Kim dropped dead, and even after she died, there were speculations that he was the one who took her out, because she was writing that all book B that was going to expose him. The book was allegedly going to detail all the awful things that Diddy put her through, as well as his alleged secret gay parties, and how he made her indulge in encounters with other men. However, just before she could release that book, she died. And did he send his lawyers to stop the book from being published? There was actually a leaked text message between somebody from the publishing company that Kim was working with, telling one of her family members that they had received some paperwork from Diddy's lawyers to haunt the production of Kim's book. The text read, "I just wanted to let you know that Sean has put the clamps on Kim Porter's book for making it to the shelves. Yeah, he done put that pressure on all parties that were involved in the process of putting the book together. Scene's lawyers have stepped up to the plate and hit them with their paperwork. He's also asking for any information, footage, documents, ets that contain private information about him or Kim to be seized, and they have 3 business days to surrender it." Paperwork was served to at least 2 of the individuals that are involved this past Thursday. Just thought I'd let you know now. Fortunately for us, an email from one of Kim's publishers later leaked online in which he gave us a summary of some of the things that Kim said in that book. The email read, "I was devastated to read the things that Kim put up with and witnessed during her relationship with Diddy. Also, some of the things in the book covered Diddy's gay relationships, footage of those encounters, the men he slept with, STDs, Diddy giving Usher an STD, and the explosive encounter between Diddy and Usher's mom, Mary Ju Blige, being pregnant by Diddy, and of course she had the she took pushing him down the steps in 2007 and breaking his foot, also how she used a strap-on to please Diddy and how she would hysterically cry alone after doing so, how she protected Albie Shore from running into Diddy and would call him to warn him not to show up to certain places to avoid trouble." Well, it looks like the publisher who gave us this summary of Kim's book was pretty spoten, because some of the pages of the book were recently leaked and everything in the book was actually written by Kim herself. For the first time, he got a narration from Kim herself about what really happened. According to the pages that were leaked, Diddy put his hands on her after she received flowers from a producer. Kim said she didn't even know who the flowers was from at the time. But when she tried to tell Diddy that he ain't even let her finish talking before he attacked her, he smacked her with a chair, which led to her ending up in the hospital with a severely damaged face. And as for the producer who sent the flowers, he suddenly died from pneumonia a couple days after this. The book reads, Sean yelled, "No, so who the F are they from?" I was bewildered and told him honestly, "I don't know, probably just a fan. He threw the attached part at me. I picked it up to read it. Scene he slapped me so hard I hit the ground." Shay yelled, "Who the F were you with the other night?" I looked down at the card that was lying on the ground next to me, and it read, "The other night was amazing. We must do it again." I tried to explain. Scene, he threw the flowers at me. "That's not how this works. You have my child. You don't touch anyone unless I allow it." I pleaded with him. Scene, please. He yelled at me. What I tried my best to calm him down. He probably didn't know it didn't come up. "You're publicly dating someone else." So he screamed at me, and it somehow seemed even more intense. "So you didn't tell him to back off." Scene, I didn't, and then out of nowhere, he hit me with a chair. I don't remember anything after that until I woke up in a hospital room. My arm was in a cast hanging from a sling. My face hurt. My eyebrow was in immense pain, as was my lip. As I came to, the first face I saw was of the man that put me there. He spoke blandly, with no energy, and tell them that you had a car accident. They'll pity you, that you hit your head. He was going to make me look crazy. They were going to believe him. He was a kingpin. Hiracine spent the next 6 months helping me to heal and working his way back into my life and into my bed. I was so damn stupid. From what I understand, the producer died of pneumonia. Y'all, the craziest thing is that this is just a couple paragraphs of that book, not even the whole thing. Like, can y'all imagine the content of that whole book and all the stuff that Kim said there? And do y'all remember what I said about Kim's BFF accusing Diddy of using Kim for a sacrifice? She revealed this during an explosive interview on the infamous podcast. She said after all the back-to-back physical attacks from Diddy, Kim tried to leave. But he would core her into stayed with him and even offered Kim $1 million at one point to come back to him because he could not live without her. Apparently, Diddy was mixed up in a lot of dark and spiritual things, and Kim was the only light in his life.
And you could tell she couldn't stand him. She told me she didn't like his scent, but on the other hand, she loved him. But she said he's not the same person he used to be. So like he changed. Because it was all about what kind of place is Puff in. Like, is he in the light or is he in the dark? Like that was basically like the constant, like, oh yeah, he's back to normal. He's back to himself. To be honest with you, a lot of stuff after she transitioned, a lot of stuff came to light that almost I feel like she was kind of hiding in a way. He was a bad dude, you know? He was a bad dude. And the thing is that Kim was ride or die for him. He offered her $1 million once. Like he could feel that she was disconnecting from him. And he like called her like crying, hysterical, "Please, I can't, don't Kim, I'll give you $1 million. I'll give you $1 million. But she should have just gotten that money. But she never.
In fact, when Diddy started seeing Cassie and was parading her around Sahara, claims Kim told her that she felt sorry for Cassie because Cassie had no idea the type of hell that she was about to be put through. Sahara also shut down the rumors about Kim participating in all them freak-off sessions with other men for Diddy, because apparently that's the only kind of thing he did with Cassie, because he knew there was no way Kim Porter would ever agree to doing that. But Cassie, on the other hand, was only 19 when they started dating, so it was easier for him to manipulate her into doing things she ain't want to do.
What about all this crazy stuff, though? Did she tell you that there was, like, evil stuff going on with sex? his house? Did you have
Yeah, I had a sense of it. I knew that she had like some weird suspicions. For example, the Cassie thing, because Cassie is who he was claiming on the outside. But when I would see how he would like blow her phone up all day long, I was like, I'm so confused because I'm seeing what's really happening. And I said to her, like, what's up with this Cassie chick? Like, do you like hate her or what? And she was like, no. And I was like, what do you mean? And she finally looks at me, she goes, I feel sorry for her. I said, why? And she looks at me and she goes, no, man, better her than me. But I do want to tell you that, like, no way was Kim having freak offs. Like, no way. And so it all kind of makes sense to me, though, in a little bit, because you know how, like, the narcissist has, like, the woman that's, like, the one that makes him feel pure and clean. So I think that's what Kim was. Kim was, like, the front, the face.
Now this is where Sahara went on to drop the real bombshell about Diddy using Kim as a sacrifice to please the demons that he's worshiping.
She and I were supposed to go to Palm Springs. And then she calls me that day. She's like, I can't go. I'm like, why? She's like, Puff called. Like, he wants me to go to the Turks and Caicos. And she's like, I gotta go. And I was like, okay. But what was weird is that something about her was kind of off. Like, so he's good, but suddenly she's not,
Right.
And then it was his 50th birthday, and we were supposed to go to the party together. And she had like called me 3 times being like, we're coming, right? And I'm like, I'm coming. Mm-hmm. And then the day of the party, she never called me. And I was like, that's weird. And then I called her and she's like, yeah, the girls came in town. And I was like, okay. So that's kind of weird. And then I remember seeing pictures of her at the party and I'm like, yo, this like, doesn't even look like her. Something's weird. And then through a few days later, she's really sick. And she's like, oh man, I have this like crazy flu. And I called her, I'm like, what's up? And I remember she was like, I'm so sick. And that's how she sounded on the phone. And I was like, Kim, why do you sound like that?
Yeah.
Like, this was somebody that would be like, she was like, her voice had a melody. She'd be like, hey. And like, she sounded like this like guttural, weird sound. And I was like, are you okay? Mm-hmm. Like, what's going on? And so then I remember I texted her, I don't know, the next day. And I'm like, Kim, are you okay? And she goes, Kimberly down. Is what she wrote in the text message.
Yeah.
It's like weird. And then the next day she was gone.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Seriously? Whoa.
So honestly, I mean, Vanessa, what I thought it was like, this is like a spiritual death, like some down. Like I felt like whatever weird was in him was in her. I mean, I'm telling you, his energy was so freaking dark during like the funeral and all that. I couldn't even say hello.
So as y'all can see, Diddy put him through hell all the way up to the minute she died, and the things that Sahara is saying may have some truth to it. It means after she died, he used her spirit for some sinister things, as usual people had their own thoughts about this, like this person who said he had her before she could ever release that book, and I'm going forever stand on that another person said why all the people close to him die from pneumonia or some kind of respiratory disease or infection or something that may cause a heart attack, and all around the time they was coming out with a book, Heavy D, Andrew Harrell, Kim Porter, A.L.B. Shore, and Christopher Williams, still alive, but the illnesses and deaths have too many similarities. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about Kim's book getting exposed? And do y'all really believe that Diddy had her kid? Y'all been knew what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other Gary Messy video.